Welcome back to Warpaths of Europe. Before we dive in, make sure you hit subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment below. Today we're diving straight into practical field-tested strategies soldiers and civilians used during World War I to stay warm when central heating was non-existent. This is not about theory, it's about real techniques you can understand and apply, whether for historical study, reenactment, or prepper knowledge. Use layered clothing strategically, starting with the basics. During the First World War, soldiers understood that staying warm was about layering efficiently rather than relying on one heavy coat. Wool was the most common material available in rations and military kits because of its insulation properties even when damp. A soldier would begin with a thin, close-fitting wool undershirt and long underwear. Next came a mid-layer, often a heavier wool tunic or sweater, followed by the standard-issue uniform or coat. For civilians or preppers today, this principle translates directly. Combining multiple thin layers traps air between them, creating natural insulation. If you're trying this at home, rotate old wool sweaters, thick socks and scarves to replicate this wartime system without spending on modern thermal wear. Keep extremities insulated. Hands, feet and head lose the most heat. In World War I, trenches, frostbite was a constant threat, and soldiers learned quickly that extremities determined survival. Socks were often doubled or even tripled, sometimes using strips of cloth if proper socks were unavailable. Gloves were layered in the same way, and soldiers frequently stuffed their boots with straw or old rags to add insulation. Caps were critical. Wool or fur hats could prevent rapid heat loss from the head. Modern application is straightforward. Never underestimate socks, hats and gloves in a cold room or unheated space. Even stuffing boots or shoes with newspaper works surprisingly well. Create micro-warmth zones in sleeping areas. When soldiers weren't in the field, they used clever techniques to trap heat at night. Rations often included blankets or coats that could double as bedding. They would layer these on cots or directly on the floor and tuck in wherever possible. If you're without central heating, replicate this by arranging blankets and quilts to form a cocoon around your sleeping space. Insulate the floor underneath with extra blankets, cardboard, or even newspapers. The principle is simple. Prevent warm air from escaping and cold air from seeping in. This method works remarkably well, even with a single heating source or a small stove. Make use of ration hot water and heating substitutes. One trick rarely discussed outside historical circles was using ration supplies to create warmth indirectly. Soldiers would heat canned food or water from mess kits and then wrap the container in cloth to create a makeshift heat pack. Even cold rations could be placed next to the body under clothing layers, and, they'd slightly warm over time from body heat. Civilians and preppers can apply the same idea. A hot water bottle, even a heated tin of beans or a filled thermos can provide hours of warmth when tucked under blankets or inside clothing. Block drafts before they sap your heat. Soldiers quickly learned that staying warm was, pretty much futile if the cold could infiltrate their quarters. Makeshift insulation was made from leftover rags, spare clothing or straw, packed tightly into gaps in walls, windows or doors. Even stacking crates or sandbags against walls served as a temporary barrier. In modern application, draft-proofing doesn't need sophisticated tools. Towels, old blankets, or folded clothing tucked into doorways and windows will replicate the same effect. The goal is simple: reduce heat loss as much as possible. Move strategically to maintain core warmth. Physical activity was not just a morale tool, but a survival necessity. Soldiers who remained still for long periods in trenches risked hypothermia even in mild weather. Marching in place, doing light exercises, or even rotating duties to stay active kept blood flowing and core temperature stable. Civilians or preppers stuck in unheated spaces can apply the same principle by doing small movements, stretching, or brief tasks to maintain circulation. It's a low-tech, immediate solution that was critical for survival in the harsh World War I environment. Use food rations to support heat generation. World War I soldiers relied on ration calories to maintain body warmth. Fats and carbohydrates were key. They provided longer-lasting energy and helped the body generate heat more efficiently. Modern readers can replicate this principle with high-calorie snacks during cold spells. Eating small amounts regularly rather than one large meal keeps the metabolism active, which in turn produces more consistent body heat. Even in emergency situations, prioritizing warm, calorie-dense foods has a direct impact on personal warmth. Repurpose everything at your disposal to trap warmth. Blankets, clothing, rags, straw, wooden crates, and even dirt were all tools soldiers used to create insulated zones. Nothing was wasted. For instance, wrapping blankets around chairs, using clothing as pillow insulation, or layering anything that traps air is historically accurate and effective. The key lesson is adaptability. Understand your environment and available materials, then combine them strategically. By applying these World War I tested strategies, you're not just learning history. You're equipping yourself with practical, low-tech methods that work in modern survival, winter preparedness, and historical reenactment. Layering, extremity protection, micro-warmth zones, ration-based heat, draft prevention, strategic movement, high-calorie intake, and resourceful insulation are all lessons that can be implemented today. If you found this guide useful, don't forget to subscribe to Warpaths of Europe for more practical history lessons. Hit the like button, leave a comment with your favorite tip or any techniques you've tried, and share this video with fellow history enthusiasts and survivalists. Master these strategies and you'll stay warm no matter the century.